Hi Ben, it's nice to see you again. It's probably a couple of months ago you were here and the weather was freezing, and look at today, beautifully sunny.
I know, isn't it lovely? And you're quite right, when we were here last it was a very chilly day.
Yes.
But we were here doing quite an important thing. We were doing photography for one of the bikes that we've got in our next sale at Stafford on the 27th of April.
Right.
And it is a genuine Gold Star winning Vincent-HRD Series A repeat.
Wonderful.
Which is exceptionally rare, because it was the only repeat that was ever to win a Gold Star at Brooklands.
Well, let's have a little look through it, and maybe you could talk us about some of its characteristics and what makes it a unique bike.
Well, for starters, we're talking about the king of motorcycles. Very limited production run. The factory built approximately 78 before war broke out. Approximately 50-55 examples still survive. Don't quote me on that. The Vincent Owners Club will have a far better idea as to the exact numbers that are still with us. But this bike was sold to a gentleman called Jim Kentish. And Jim, at the time, was working as a props manager at the theatre in Richmond. And between the matinee performance and the evening performance, he decided to get on this bike, ride it to Brooklands, and come and do a couple of circuits. Now, I don't know exactly what race it was,
right,
but he didn't go unnoticed. And the chap from one of the tyre companies said, you know, you're going incredibly fast, you should come back and enter into this event, which he duly did. And he won a Gold Star on it. 106 point something miles an hour average speed. I mean, extraordinary. Extraordinary.
And its life after that, did he carry on doing the odd race with it, or did it become just a road bike?
So the museum have been fantastic. They supplied us with a full list of events that he used the machine in, complete with the results. He, at the end of 37, beginning of 38, was due to get another example from the factory, and I believe the factory did breathe on this at the time. It didn't happen for whatever reason. I think probably war. But he carried on with his career after the war, racing a 7R, HRS 7R.
Yeah.
And in actual fact, he was riding a motorcycle right up until the age of 95.
Just shows you motorcycling is good for you, eh?
Absolutely, keeps you young.
It keeps you young at heart.
But he was an active member of the BMW club, and he also donated the Gold Star, which you can see here at the museum on display in the cabinet, for this machine. At the time, he didn't know that the bike still existed.
Oh, right.
He didn't know it existed. And, would you believe it, it's only been 30, 35, 40 minutes down the road from the museum.
All that time?
All that time. The chap that we're selling it on behalf of, he bought it in 1963, and he has had it in his study, I mean, for at least, we think, the last 20, 25 years.
My goodness.
So when we brought it here on that cold, wintry day, it was probably the first time that the bike's been back to the circuit since 1937.
My goodness, eh?
Because it hasn't been seen or heard of since 1963, which is when he bought it off his neighbour.
My goodness. So its status at the moment is what, needing recommissioning?
It was restored in 1987, so it had a full mechanical restoration. We've not seen it running or heard it running. We're not going to start it because clearly the next owner will want to go through it, make sure everything is tickety-boo, safety checks, recommissioning, so on and so forth. It's got good compression, but me, if I was a potential buyer, sadly I'm not, but if I was, I'd want to go through the whole bike. So it's been sold as needing recommissioning at the very least, and hopefully that'll be all that it's required, but that's for the new owner to have the joy and pleasure of finding out.
And have you got a list price for it yet, or
yes,
offers in the region?
Yeah,
I mean, so it's an auction, so obviously
it's auction.
Yeah.
So the estimate, which is not necessarily the value of the machine, the estimate's 180 to 240,000 pounds.
That's a considerable price, and for a very rare beast, though.
It's a considerable price for a very, very rare beast. Most of these, bearing in mind, a lot of them are locked away in collections and museums, so it's an opportunity to buy. In actual fact, it's the only 1000cc Vincent that achieved a Gold Star at Brooklands. Now, there were other Vincents, other Rapides, other 1000cc bikes that went around the circuit that, in all probability, did over 100 miles an hour, but for whatever reason, they never got a gold star. This is the only example that had that achievement, officially had that achievement.
And at the forthcoming event at Stafford, is this the showpiece? Is this the showgirl?
It's one of the showpieces.
Right. What else do you have?
Alongside it, just over there.
Yeah. We'll go over and have a look.
Well, this is quite nice. This is a first year of production Brough Superior SS100. Again, I say the king. Well, actually, that's a title which would equally be split between the two motorcycles. Again, ultra desirable.
Yes.
One of only 12 known survivors. First year of production, built by the factory to be raced. This actually came second in the 1927 Ulster Grand Prix, being ridden by a chap called Bob Matthews, who was also known as the Banger Boat because of his size and girth.
Oh, is that right?
Large chap. In actual fact, on the board right in front of us there,
yes,
you can see him pictured on the motorcycle. Yeah. And there he is, just coming around with a Scot following behind him at the Ulster Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm pleased to say it's part of my own personal heritage. As a young man, I went to various Ulster Grand Prix with my father, and the Northwest 200, and Randallstown is known. And I was looking also at the tax disc on here, and it's a Northern Ireland tax disc.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite fascinating that the integrity of this bike and all its history is quite complete, really.
Now, interesting you should say about the history, because I know I've got a load of information on what Bob Matthews did between 1925 and 1927. I know it was tax for the roads.
Yeah.
In 1935, there's the tax disc.
Yes.
But I don't know who had it, who owned it, where it was, up until 1966, where it appears in a barn with bent front forks.
Right.
So there's been an accident. It's got a Triumph wheel fitted to it at the moment, but we do have the original 1925 racing wheel with the machine.
Yeah.
The owner bought it, the vendor bought it in 1972 from another collector in Northern Ireland. Brought it back. The restoration had already been started. He completed it.
Right.
And he's not been afraid to use this motorcycle.
Ah, right,
It's
okay.
been an extremely quick bike. I've had it just today. I've had a number of people who've come up and said, I remember that motorcycle when we were at this event and that rally, and oh boy, does it go fast. I've not had the pleasure of riding it, unfortunately, so I can't confirm that, but I have it on good authority. But it's got just the most fantastic patina. Yeah. And it's the original engine, just like with the Series A Rapide. Original engine, original frame, original engine, original frame. So both with very high levels of integrity. Yeah, which is really nice. We're not talking about sort of triggers, both racing motorcycles. Yeah, I mean, Brough, we've got the Work Scrapper here, of course, and that's quite a unique and beautiful bike, and was known for its power. And of course, Brough has also got the heritage associated with the build quality of Rolls-Royce. Yes, and that was always their call about their build quality. Yeah. And there's as I say, there's a few of them here at Brooklands, and they are perfect examples of what Brough talk about as their key. He took the very best components, the very best parts, and assembled it into the very best motorcycles. And having that, I mean, he was also a superb marketeer, and having the ability to use the Rolls-Royce name. Yes. And they didn't object. They were happy with that because it was associated with a quality product. Yes. I bet they sued others though. Well, I think there was a lawnmower manufacturer that was also allowed to use the sort of Rolls-Royce of lawnmowers. I'm not sure. I'll have to double. Google would be my friend here, but so I believe. But of course, with the T.E. Lawrence Association as well. He was a brilliant marketing person. But the bikes were, of course, brilliant products. Yeah. Well, look, Ben, keep us posted. I hope that Bonhams have a highly successful auction, and obviously that these go to good homes, although it won't be me on this occasion, I think. Sadly not me either. No, not you either. I'll be doing my best to find great homes for them. You're a very good man. Thank you very much, sir. You're welcome. Thank you.